War has always decided the fate of man. Is it better to fight for your cause knowing it'll be the end of your people, or to surrender for the sake of your countrymen? The decision lies upon the shoulders of the leaders that must bear that burden. Twilight Princess is often touted as one of the darkest entries in the Zelda series. From its depressing undertones to the nightmarish cutscenes, it stands out from most other Zelda games. For a game that focuses heavily on despondent themes, one of the more tragic points is often overlooked. In Twilight Princess, there is no better example of a leader that has been cursed with the choice of surrendering or death than Hyrule's lone monarch. This is the tragedy of Princess Zelda. The Kingdom of Hyrule in Twilight Princess has just a single ruler, being Princess Zelda. Zelda, a young leader, is extremely inexperienced and is unfortunately caught in an impossible situation when the usurper king of Twilight, Zant, invades Hyrule with his shadow beasts. These horrid Twilight creatures tear through the Hylian soldiers like a tsunami leveling coastal cities. They stood no chance against the Twilight invasion. There was yet to be a chosen hero to come to the rescue as well. Link wasn't there to save the kingdom or Zelda. His ascension to hero was the result of the Twilight invasion, and without Hyrule's shining hero, the kingdom was defenseless. Hyrule was completely unprepared for the onslaught that awaited them. Zelda's inexperience is best shown when Zant attacks her in the throne room. When the shadow beasts decimate her knights, Zelda is visibly frightened. A battle-hardened ruler wouldn't let their fear be that noticeable. Zant gives her an ultimatum. Surrender the kingdom, or all of Hyrule will die. Zelda surrenders, and Hyrule is now in the hands of Zant. Upon meeting Zelda, Midna actively mocks her by calling her Twilight Princess, rubbing salt into the wound that all of the horrible things happening to her lands and people are the result of her decisions. The kingdom succumbed to Twilight, yet I remain its princess. Those are the words Zelda tells Link and Midna once informing them about Zant's attack. She acknowledges that everything is her fault, and that she is the reason her kingdom is submerged in twilight. The actions of Princess Zelda can be seen all across the kingdom. The once proud and courageous knights who attempted to fend off the shadow beasts now cower and hide away. In Telma's bar, we see these braggarts flexing and trying to impress Ilia and Telma, but when confronted with the obvious dangers this journey would have, they all run away in fear. Soldiers follow their leaders, and the fear that plagued Zelda trickled down into the ranks of her men. Zelda is held away in a tower, but she's more a captive to her guilt than to the enemy. She doesn't try to do or change anything to save her kingdom, and it isn't until Link and Midna show up that this changes. It's almost as though she felt she didn't have the capability to do it on her own. She was alone, and that insecurity of weakness kept her from really trying to break Zant's hold on the kingdom. Midna is a great contrast to Zelda. Both are princesses that have had their kingdoms taken away from them, but while Zelda reacts submissively, Midna reacts with anger and revenge. Midna has a strong desire to reclaim what is hers and to save her people from Zant's foul sorcery. It's intentional that these two are both referred to as Twilight Princess. They are two sides of the same coin. Both are rulers who want to save their kingdoms, but with different personalities and ambitions to do so. Zelda shows real growth and desire to be proactive in saving her kingdom once Link brings Midna's dying body to her for help. It's at this moment that Zelda recognizes that Midna has been trying to save Hyrule as well, and was carrying the weight that Zelda should have been carrying. Zelda tells Midna that these dark times are her fault and feels deep remorse that her fear nearly caused Midna's death. Zelda sees that Midna has more courage and strength than her. It's at this point that Zelda musters the courage to sacrifice herself to save Midna. The next time we see Zelda, she is being used as a vessel for Ganondorf. He puppets her soulless body around, attacking Link. Zelda, even after showing courage and saving Midna, tragically becomes a perverse tool for Ganondorf. Thankfully, Midna exorcises Ganondorf from Zelda's body, and her soul returns to it. When Zelda awakens, she tells Midna that she doesn't need to explain anything, that their hearts were as one. Zelda saw and felt firsthand Midna's experiences, her suffering, her triumphs, the horrible things Zant did to her in her kingdom, and the pain she felt from it. Zelda got to see their commonality, and Midna's bravery, as a result, made her more brave as well. After fighting Dark Beast Ganon and being teleported to Hyrule Field, Zelda uses her divine powers to ask the Light Spirits for help. They grant her the Light Arrows. At this moment, Zelda asks Link to lend the last of his power to save Hyrule, acknowledging his role as the chosen hero and showing humility in her inability to solely save the kingdom. With Zelda's help, Link is able to defeat Ganondorf and breaks the curse on Hyrule and the Twilight Realm. A lot of people look at Twilight Princess Zelda as a flawed character. I think that Zelda shouldn't be looked at as a bad character necessarily, or written off as poor writing. Zelda shows a stark contrast to the expected heroism that we see through Link and Midna. The tragedy of Princess Zelda is the consequences of having a human reaction to tragic things. Zelda didn't know how to handle the obstacles thrown at her, and was fearful that she would make things worse by getting involved. For those reasons, I think Zelda is one of the most relatable characters in Twilight Princess. When overwhelming odds are stacked against you, and the helping hands you need aren't there, you will falter. But it's in Zelda's faults that she recognizes what needs to be done, and ultimately, she helps save her kingdom. Hey, thanks so much for watching the video. It's really strange to me that I've never done a Twilight Princess video before because it's my favorite game of all time. So yeah, let me know if you like this. I had a lot of fun doing this sort of character analysis for Princess Zelda. It was a super interesting topic and one that I thought up of during my recent playthrough of Twilight Princess HD, which is here available on the channel if you would like to check out. Make sure that you're subscribed if you like Zelda content or anything gaming or Nintendo related. Like the video because it helps the channel grow immensely. And yeah, that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one.